February 14th meeting. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I think we have to do a roll call because Lauren is on Zoom.
Yep.
Melissa?
Aye, yes.
Pete?
Aye.
Lauren?
Yeah, aye.
Shay? Aye. It's unanimous. Perfect. Visitor comments, is there anybody here for anything that is not on the agenda? Okay, next up, ferry service update. John is on Zoom. Thank you for joining us, John.
Oh, my pleasure. Can you guys see me? Because I can't see me.
No, we cannot. We just see a big purple J.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I'm here. I just wanted to bring up very briefly this whole tariff thing. There's going to be a hearing at the Samoset on March 12th. I won't be back by then, but written comments can be made, but they have to be received by Ann Perret, who's now the general counsel for DOT, by March 22nd. The tariff itself, you folks have seen the price. It just deals with the pricing. And, people can be for it or for against it. They obviously pushed a lot of stuff into the peak season, particularly vehicle round trips. People may object to the truck charges. But they did try, I think they did make an effort, number one, which we should be thankful for at least asking us for some input. And number two, I think the non-peak season prices they've tried to keep reasonable. The comment, the only thing I would encourage people to do is to maybe make comments about the stuff that's not in the tariff. I made an argument that we ought to have an island resident rate. I made an argument that we ought to have a senior citizen discount. And I made an argument that we ought to have a more friendly commuter rate. None of that happened. And I think that's unfortunate. And I think it just comes, there's a mindset that's called, to some people, including, I think, Bruce Van Note, equity tariffing. And I don't think it's equity tariffing at all. And I think that that's the kind of thing that all kinds of transportation systems do. Those are the kinds of things that all kinds of transportation systems do, but it didn't. So anyway, for what it's worth, I'm going to do a written thing, a submission. I'd encourage people, if you can, to go to the meeting. And I'm not on the island right now, so I haven't really been talking to people about their perceptions of all of this, but I think it's very important to be heard, and particularly with those three things: the resident tariff, the senior citizen discount, and the commuter rate. And that's about all I wanted to say today.
Thanks, John. A quick question. Do you feel like it would be appropriate to bring up the unfunded pension liability as questioning whether that should be in the operating expense that they are doing the calculation for the increase on?
I don't think it would be inappropriate, but I don't think it's going to carry a lot of weight. I've made no headway whatsoever. It's approaching $1 million a year, which, if we weren't, we're looking at about an, 18-19% in tariff increase. It's not an insubstantial component of the expense side of the system, but I just don't think that it's going to carry any weight. It doesn't hurt to mention it, and I constantly mention it to no effect at all.
Yeah. No, the only reason I feel like it might be helpful here is just in case a news outlet picks it up to maybe apply some more pressure.
It might not hurt. They're public comments, and I think questioning whether or not that's a valid and legitimate operating expense when presumably, and I only say presumably because I don't know, other state agencies take that out of their general allocation, which comes out of the general fund, which comes out of our tax dollars, which means to me, just as an argument, that we're paying twice. We're paying when we pay our state income tax and gas tax and everything else, and we're paying it when a proportionate share of a ticket goes to that. So to me, that makes sense, but apparently to them, it does not.
Shay, I agree with you. I think it would be a good idea to bring that up. Even if it's to no effect, I think the point needs to be made over and over and over again that we're paying twice. And maybe at some point, whether they want it to be brought up or not, it may have more mileage with, like you said, with media, perhaps.
Speaking of media, Maggie has her hand raised.
I just wanted to thank Pete. There's the usual, speculation and back and forth on Facebook, and Pete said, by the way, we discussed that it's this select board meetings every time, and PS, you can get in touch with the ferry service, and there's a public hearing, and I just wanted to thank him for, speaking some common sense out there in the social media world.
My pleasure. I know it's rare for me, but.
I appreciate it.
Is that on the Islesboro main thing?
I'll be careful.
The one thing I might add is that it might carry a lot of weight rather than to have the select board as a board submit something.
Yeah.
I think it ought to be from the board, but if anybody would like any help with that, I'm available by email and telephone and whatever. But I think it carries a bit more weight if it comes from the elected town officials.
Yep. No, I would be happy to draft something and work with you, John, on that draft and then circulate it to the board if that feels comfortable to folks.
Yeah.
I think so. One thing I'd like just to be kind of tossed around in there. I don't think that anybody would have as hard of a time swallowing the budget or the tariff if it wasn't going to the retirement and if it was going to fair wages for the crews. And so however, it needs to be worded of, we don't mind paying our crews what they'll, to make sure that they are getting the money and everything that they need for it, but funding other people's retirement isn't what we're wanting to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think making sure that we support the crew and want to make sure that they're paid fairly so that we can rely on consistent service, which is not been, it's hard to raise rates and decrease the reliability of the service at the
Right.
same time without making sure that it's budgeted in there to improve that inconsistency.
Exactly. But that's just my 2 cents that I would like
Great.
somewhere thrown in of, we love our crews, we want to keep our crews. We would like the state of Maine to like our crews more.
Okay,
Thank you.
sounds good. When is our next meeting? Do we have a meeting between
The
now
6th.
and then?
Well, the selectmen's meeting, well, there'll be a budget on the 6th, but the 13th is the actual meeting.
And the day after.
Right,
I was gonna ask about that anyway.
okay, well,
But
I will work on getting a draft to folks by the beginning of next week, so that at least we can sort of do a thumbs up, thumbs down on that and get it sent off. Unfortunately, I am out of town starting the 12th, so I'm not able to attend in person, but I'm happy to submit comments electronically. I don't know if anybody from the board is able to attend in person. I know it's not great for a work day.
School.
Yeah,
That's true, and Tuesday at noon is like.
right.
Kind of
Lauren?
Are you gone during that time?
I'm gone until April 6th or so.
Okay. Electronically it is.
Okay.
I'll be gone too, so Carrie, you wanna go? Maybe Mike will go with you.
Maybe.
We're putting it out in the newsletter,
Okay.
information, so.
Yeah, and it might be nice to maybe publish the select board statement just so that people see what we said about it. And,
Yeah.
you know, make sure that we are encouraging people to go, recognizing that, not having a physical presence there doesn't mean that we're not weighing in and, does not reflect our lack of interest in the topic.
Right.
That's a great idea.
Okay. Sounds good. I will be in touch shortly, John, then.
Okay, great. And I'd encourage anyone who can to go, assuming, I wish I could go, but anyway, but for what it's worth, and I'll just sign off now if that's okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, John.
You bet. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye. Sea level rise update. I don't have, a major update today. We met as a committee. I mean, I feel like I don't even know what month I'm looking at. Like, are we in December?
Oh, God, no.
No. We met in, earlier February. It's not on that calendar that I can see. On the 21st, to start to talk about how to broaden our planning efforts. Have done a couple of different outreach strategies with the state to, try to, encourage them to work with us on a ferry. We have heard back. I think they're working on who is the best person internally, but it's something we're gonna have to be vigilant about before they really step up to the plate. GZA is doing their work and I don't have a major update other than that. Any questions? All right, Lauren, municipal building project update?
Oh, yes, we're in a holding pattern. We're waiting for the guaranteed maximum price. The date is somewhere between March 4th and March 8th, and I mean, unless anything shifts, and of course, something could shift, but we have a tight timeline, so we're hoping to get that on the 4th and meet with Peter Peltier at Ledgewood by Zoom and with the Municipal Building Project Committee on the 4th, and then formally on the 8th, and then bring a recommendation to the select board at their 27th March, yes, March 27th meeting, and then looking to the possibility of having to bring a warrant to the town on April 10th. And at some point, I'm assuming we're gonna put together an agenda for that April 10th meeting, so I don't know if you're gonna want help with that, Shay. If you're gonna be back in time, I won't be back until April 6th, so I'm thinking about how I might help or not, make sure that that piece is in there in any event.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have to wait until we know whether or not it's a in-town information meeting or a town meeting. So I think once you have the information on the full budget, then we can work on getting a, draft agenda by the end of March. I'll be back on the 20th, so I should have
Okay.
time
Great.
to work on that and have a draft maybe by the 27th.
In any event, we would have a meeting on the 10th, so do we have the school, is that where that's gonna be held?
Yes,
And do you need Michael Hutcherson or someone do you need help at all, Janet, with anything regarding?
we can ask Michael.
I asked him, he said he could be available. That's all I did, just jumping in and checking in.
The microphone, we're not showing video or anything, are we? We're not showing I don't know. I think we'll
don't
check.
Anticipate.
Okay.
having a media.
If it's very straightforward, we might not need that, but.
All right, Anything else? Any questions? All right, next up, upcoming meetings and subcommittee reports. There's a planning board meeting on March 13th. We have our first budget workshop on March 6th.
What'd you say?
Anything else from subcommittees?
Lighthouse tomorrow at 3. If anybody's interested.
Great, and just on, I guess, subcommittees, the committee chairs meeting happened. I know the minutes are in the packet. Thank you, Carrie. And, I think it was generally well received. So we will plan to do it again in 6 months is kind of what we decided for that.
I just want to say thank you. I was reading through Terry's notes on that. That was like the best idea to have Carrie come and take that because then we can hold on to it and it's, you know, you did such a good job and I just want to say thank you. And it's clean, concise, well read. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, very nice.
I was like, nah, we don't need that. And then I got it and I was like, every 6 months. So congratulations, you just got that stuff.
All right, Janet, town manager report.
All right, I've given you, and I hope you have everything that I'm talking about. If you don't have, if you're missing something, let me know, because I did the packet in two bites. Minutes from the December 18th Economic Sustainability Committee meeting. Minutes from the December 28th Municipal Building Project meeting. Minutes from the February 8th Museum Lighthouse Committee meeting. And as we just mentioned, minutes from the February 15th Committee Chair meeting, the Select Board. I received this week, the Waldo County tax, which is $850,867. This is an increase of $80,231 from last year's budget. I might not have given you this. I'm not sure if he did about from Maine Municipal Association, which is cool. I received, when Babe Hatch Jr. left his, bill for his mirror the last time, I sent it on to our insurance to see if they would cover it under liability. And they said no, because they asked for our contract, snowplow contract. And, there's nothing in there that says we paid for any damages of his, so they denied it. But I'm just looking for you all to authorize it. It's $929.07. I'd like an answer before the end of the meeting. I didn't pay it in this warrant, I'll pay it the next time. So you've got the ferry service public hearing notice. And you have the February update, which will probably be going out in the newsletter also from the Rural Energy Prize and Community Energy Coordinator, which is, Kizzy. Under old business, we have that for looking ahead, perhaps draft of the legal stuff. Earlier this week, Dave connected with James Nelson and went up to the library with him. There's some dampness in the basement of the library, which is coming in probably from perhaps gutters or around the stonework, as James said. If there's any crack in the masonry there, which is old, the stones on the walls, it goes right down, comes in around where the oil tank is in the basement. So he's going to go there at some point. He's going to give me an estimate, but and dig out the foundation on 3 sides, the street and the 2, the back and the front, not the back door where Melissa parks. And see, he'll pull away and see what's going on there and what might need to be done other than, and then he plans to coat it with coat the foundation to hopefully waterproof. that and check the gutters and there's a lot of drainage there. I know Paul Brindle did some years ago to try to get water away from the building, which is on the parking lot side, which may be why the parking lot is so muddy. But so he's gonna look at that. And Ed Bacon sent me a picture of the pulpit at Brindle Point, which has some damage from a storm. Maybe you've all seen it, I'm not sure. So I have asked Avery Tatro to look at that, so he's going to go and look at it, because Mert recommended him for masonry, small jobs, because he's done some for Brigham, so he's gonna look at that. He thought I said perfect landing, so he went up there, he saw all the holes in the road. I said, no, the pulpit at Brindle Point, so he was relieved. And I was going to report on some roadside cleanup that Jordy and he had Dawn and we got Jeff 1 or 2 days and Charlie to do some traffic. They've done on Main Road, they've done by Dunn Lane, he's done by the Narrows, by the stone wall, cleaned up some there. From Bonnet Farm, not the wood, but cleaning up the brush. Art Gavoni's corner on Pelican Point Road. They cleaned up some brush on the Terratine Tennis Court Road. And he cleaned up a pile of brush that was near Bayard Gilbert's, just north of there was a pile of brush from a tree that was cut. And we have again spoken with the homeowners of well, it's Islesboro Islands Trust, it's just north of Durkee's, all that chunks of wood on the side of the road. Someone was lined up to pick it up, but just hasn't done it. And Earl McKenzie, I've spoken with him about the wood chunks on Brigham's property, like opposite the guardrail where there's still some brush. Earl was going to work on that and get that out of the ditch. The leaning tree, well, what's the one tree I usually see every day? It's by Bill Tilden's driveway on Main Road, and it's on Brigham's property, not Bill Tilden's property. So I emailed Harry Brigham after that last meeting. He said, oh yeah, I'll get that taken care of. So I hope that's in the works. I'm still, Trevor Bakers is going to look at some places to do some brush cut back with his piece of equipment. So he was going to, I gave him the list that I came up with just quickly, and he was going to look at that and get back to me with a price of what it would be. Maybe not by a mile, but what he was gonna look at what it involved and let me know about that. And I just haven't heard back from him yet, but he's still interested in doing it, so that was a good sign. Any questions?
I wonder if we had, sorry, jumping back a few, thank you for, I think the municipal, the road update was very helpful. The Waldo County budget. Can we ask them for an explanation of, is that because of a major project? Is that because of a 2% increase in wages? Kind of what is driving that increase, just so that we can understand it, I think would be helpful.
I did have for a while out their budget, and I'm not sure if that's still there, which that would involve someone going through it and looking at it. And that's one of the nice things about having someone from here go over to this budget, like Gabe did for a couple of years. Try to.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, nice practice from this kind of letter would be to summarize where the increase is.
Yeah, I will do that. I will follow that up with Barbara.
Thank you.
So in here, it says that it's 900,300 and you have it as 850.
Oh, sorry.
The 850 was
850 was last.
23, right?
Was last, this current year. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry, you're right.
Okay, and
931.
so now we're doing the 931 with an
Correct.
increase of 800,000.
Correct.
80,000.
Yeah, I read the red. Now that's worse, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
What is that, really?
Yeah, I might check with Lincolnville too and see, how much theirs went up, but doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I mean, almost a 10% increase is, pretty.
And the year before it was about
Yeah.
60,000, I think, last year it went up, and then one year they didn't do anything, remember that? Couple
Yeah,
years?
it just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just feel like it warrants further explanation.
It's probably never gone down, right?
That I don't remember, but I would like it the year that it didn't go anywhere.
And then should we take up now on the question of Babe's bill?
It seems like it's all good food, you know. I'd say. Hopefully, it's near.
I would second that motion. Any further discussion? All right, Melissa? Aye. Pete?
Aye.
Lauren?
I actually couldn't hear that question.
Oh, sorry, we have a motion on the floor from Pete to approve the $900-ish bill
Oh,
that
yes.
sent for repairing his mirror.
Great. I agree.
Right, and an aye for me. Anything else you need from us on that?
Nope.
Okay. I would say we may want to make a note when we redo the plowing contract to see if that is a provision that we may want to put in the contract, just so that if it's not something we want to get into the habit of, obviously, and this was a bit of a unique situation because it was going into a new area. But I would just wonder if it's worth looking into so that we could have insurance coverage should we have a major issue. Or have some clarity around the definition within the contract. It just seems like an area of grayness now that may not be helpful for him and it may not be helpful for us.
Or I'd be, if we don't want the insurance rates and stuff to go up, to put the caveat in there that says that we're not responsible for damage to your vehicle.
Right, it just seems like, it seems like a,
Right. Huh?
It's not listed in there, so that's why it's not
Right.
covered right now.
But then that way, if it is in there for the
Oh.
next contract
Oh,
season of, we're not,
yeah, which is about 2 years away, I think it's 26, his contract goes through, I think it was 5 years.
but it might not just be a bad, I don't get into it.
right, just an area where it makes sense to look at when that comes around next time. And like I said, this is a unique situation, so.
Let's see.
Okay, anything else on town manager report or correspondence?
Thanks for correcting that.
All right, I would say we do not have an Islesboro looking ahead. I asked Janet to put this on the agenda so that I would finish reviewing it, and I got about halfway through the draft, and you haven't seen anything, so let's table that until next meeting. Thank you for your patience. I did, though, work on the RFP for legal services, so we can talk about that.
Priorities.
Right, that one seemed like the most important. So the draft you have in front of you, just as a little bit of context, Janet had pulled 5 example RFPs for legal services from other towns. So I looked at those from Farmington, Cape Elizabeth, Monmouth, Bath, and Lincolnville. 3 of those 5 were pretty much exactly the same template. So, what I used is 99% from that template. I highlighted areas where, either I didn't have the information or I thought it was worth a discussion or put a comment in so that we could discuss it before we finalized. Is there anything in particular, Janet, that you want to highlight, or should we questions that people have beyond kind of the highlighted or commented areas?
I wondered about, and I think on page 2, number 4, attend select board and committee meetings as requested, attend or have knowledgeable associate and assessment review board meetings. I guess that's all right as requested, because we've never abused that or never, but they should be, perhaps prepared to
Right.
attend. Number 8, under collections, when requested by the select board, collect unpaid taxes, fines and loans, that's something we've never. That doesn't seem, but if you wanna leave it in there, that's fine.
It may be, if we get to a point where we require, legal action to collect, we may need them to help us draft or approve, language for that collections, which is sort of,
Well, it would go to lien and then they'd lose it or close it, so I don't think, but they might be involved in that process.
Right.
Yeah, there's always.
do we have, I should know this, but do we have an assessment review board?
We have the Board of Appeals.
That's what yeah, the appeals board was already listed in there. I would say that maybe we should just strike that assessment review board meetings, since it's not something that we have.
Planning board,
The comment on page 3 about deliver records to successor was more noting, okay, flagging, oh, we should, I guess, ask Sally to make sure that she's doing that for us when they're meeting. I know you got a response back from her that was part of.
And
the
that might have
services.
happened, maybe Jack Conway, when they took over, when Sally took over for Jack Conway, that might have happened. I never heard anything about it. But I know a year or so ago, Jack Conway was, that office was either closing or something, and they wanted me to come and get a box of records that they had, which they'd never said before in all these years. And they'd had water damage, so there was really only one box, and I can't remember for the life of me now if we did go there. It was in Auburn. I don't remember if I sent someone there to get that box and what I did with it. I don't have any clue. But I figured, we hadn't had it for 10 years. I think I did not really need it.
The only other comment was, if maybe 3 years is what we want. And Janet, are you okay with the electronic submission rather than asking them for lots of copies of?
Sure. Yeah, I printed out, not gonna send it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have to figure out where, to advertise. I know Maine Municipal Association. I will check with some other towns. Between this and I'm advertising for, someone for that Burton grant. I just can't get them in the wrong place.
I mean, I think I put on here just Friday, March 22nd at noon. When is Sally officially done for us?
I think it's maybe it is the 22nd. I think it's before the end of March.
I just wasn't sure if anything less than 3 weeks was reasonable for getting any response back. But perhaps if we could get it out and have responses back by the 22nd, then maybe we could take action on the 27th.
Yeah, do I have this in a Word document?
You should have it from what I sent to you, Lauren. I'm happy to make these
No, you might be, I mean,
edits and send it back to you.
okay, if you want to, if you have time.
That should not take very long at all. I'm happy to do that.
Shay?
Yep.
I have 2 or 3 really minor typos that I'll, if, I think I can do it on the copy that I got, but I'll make sure I make a note and send it to you and Janet. They're very small, little typos, spelling,
Great.
et cetera.
Sounds good. Any other questions, comments? Good to send out with those revisions we've talked about? All right, do we need a motion, Janet, or are you?
You can, go ahead, yeah.
Motion to post the RFP as with minor.
So moved.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Melissa, I.
Oh, yes, thank you. Pete?
Aye.
Lauren?
Aye.
Shay? Aye. Oops. Okay, no other business. Next up, approve warrant number 18 for FY 24 for $357,586.28.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor, Lauren,
Aye.
Pete,
Aye.
Melissa? Aye. Shay? Aye. All right, no appointments, and I have no comments tonight. Pete?
Thanks to the guys for doing the tree lift. It was much appreciated. So I'm out and thank you for organizing.
No, the roads do look a lot.
Really, yeah.
It did make a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened between snowstorms and rainstorms, yeah.
Melissa?
Basketball season is over. Trying not to sound super excited about it. Sports, we have one student that is going to the New England's this Saturday, which is one of Mike Clayton's employees, sitting over there in the corner. Yay! Other than that, sports banquet has been moved until March 7th.
And Lauren, you get the last word.
Oh, it's gonna be cold tomorrow.
Don't forget your.
Other than that, no comment.
Can I say something about the next meeting? So since, are you planning to come in by Zoom on that, or is Lauren planning? I don't know. So if you're not gonna have a quorum, I was wondering what we should do about that. If you,
I am not able to attend via Zoom on the 13th. Are you able to be on Zoom on the 13th, Lauren?
Yes, I can do that.
okay, so as long as you both are here, so.
I don't do anything. I don't do anything.
I don't know if you want to do the, budget workshop that night. You also want to do that? I won't be here.
No.
Oh, all right, so we'll push the budget workshop back.
Yeah, cause I think we already had, we'd gotten. the
Well, I
thing.
hadn't, yeah, I just wanted to know for sure, and I
No,
will
I don't
update
wanna be in
that
charge of
calendar.
money with Pete without people. Like, I trust you, I don't trust you, so I'm gonna be like, cool.
Carrie will be here, she'll be here.
I'll take care of it for you.
We'll come back to a finalized budget on the 20th, ready to vote on it.
Absolutely, cause me and Pete are gonna have this completely knocked out. Mike's gonna be like, we need asphalt. We're gonna be like, cool, we need nothing else. Done.
All right, so the meeting is
See?
to go,
He's good.
but the budget, no.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
Makes sense.
All
and
right,
then if something comes up, me and Pete will.
but our budget workshop on the 6th is it at 5?
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's nothing else that night, so I might, increase what is there. I'm really trying to finish it up right now, madly.
And we get pizza?
Do you want pizza? That's something I can do.
I will be the person that says that we need pizza. I will eat whatever kind you guys get, but I need pizza if I'm coming. That one.
All right. Perfect. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second on this one.
Yeah.
Second.
I don't think you even have to worry about that. You're adjourned.
No.
I'm
Lauren?
gonna argue.
Aye.
Aye, Captain.
Aye, me hearties.
All right, thank
Lauren, are you
you.
still there?
I am.
Do you need Logan to do anything at your house in the morning?
I sent him a text. I think he knows what to do. He's all
Okay,
set.
perfect.
Awesome.
All right, that's why I wanted to check on, so I wasn't sure if he'd reached out yet or not.
Don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.